Landlords, brace yourselves for what's coming next. Now, last month, Rishi Sunak announced a snap election to take place on the 4th of July. And already we've seen so many landlords nervous. And taking into account that when Parliament shut down, we already saw winners and losers in the rental sector for both renters and landlords. Now, a lot of people have been asking me, Danny, what happens if Labour comes into power? Is it going to be better or worse? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly the impact that the elections happen in the property sector, but also what's coming next. And as always, I'm going to share my opinion on the matter. Make sure you stay tuned. So, when the Prime Minister surprisingly announced that election, it left Parliament in a really tight deadline to either scrap those bills or pass them. Now, this process is called as the wash-up, and it gave some major changes because those bills that were passed, but also some missed opportunities, especially in the property sector. Effectively, that renters reform bill is off the table. Yes, that's right. The much talked about renters reform bill has officially flopped. I believe it was first announced back in 2019 as part of the Conservatives' manifesto and first published in 2023. Now, this renters reform bill was supposed to be the biggest change in a generation. It was supposed to absolutely transform the private rental sector. However, it has flopped. It aimed to get rid of fixed-term tenancies, a ban on no-fault evictions, but also a bunch of other stuff to boost standards in the rental sector, including introducing a national property registration scheme, but also allowing renters to have pets. So what happens next? Well, when a bill doesn't make it through the wash-up, it basically fails. So it will be up to the next administration if they want to bring it back. They'll have to start from scratch. And that's exactly what's happened with the Renters Reform Bill. Right now, it's just a pack of papers gathering dust in Parliament. It has all the debate by renters organisations and landlords association, and also all the comments that we've had on this channel just been a complete waste of time. Well, that's what remains to be seen. And if you're a landlord or a renter, I'm just curious, what do you think about the failed bill? Leave me a comment below. The big question is, could the Renters Reform Bill have been pushed by the government before Parliament shut down? And the answer is absolutely yes. However, there are a lot of rumours that the Conservative Party didn't want to let it through, mainly because there's a lot of pro-landlords MPs, but also because of concerns of the impact that it will have on the private rental sector, but also concerns as the impact it will have on landlords. And I'm just curious, do you think that MPs that are landlords should have a say in housing policies? Leave me a comment below, let me know your view. So when can we expect more action with this bill? Well, what we do know is if Labour does come into power, they are committed to abolishing Section 21, which is the no-fault eviction notice. And Angela Rayner, the leader and shadow secretary for Levelling Up, has committed and continues to push this message. So we can expect Labour to probably pick up and start this from scratch. Let's talk about leasehold and freehold reform, which was passed very quickly, may I add, just before that election was announced. Now, of course, this law has been passed and it aims to give a better experience for people owning leaseholds, and it's just going to be perhaps even more appealing people such as cities like London, where we have so many leaseholds. And some of those major changes include longer leases when you decide to extend, also making it quicker and faster, clearer service charges, so before you even enter into a contract, you know exactly what you're getting. Making it right, but also just more control over the building. Whilst the law has passed and definitely a step in the right direction, there are a lot of people that are disappointed. Because during that wash-up period, it was passed very quickly and rushed, and there was things that were left out, such as a cap in ground rent. And we've heard the Labour MP, Matthew Pennycook, saying that he would abolish the whole thing and the whole system of leasing entirely. That leads us into short-term changes and any impact to the property market during these elections. First up is interest rates. It's very unlikely that the Bank of England is going to make any cuts during these elections in this period. Secondly, market activity. A lot of sellers and buyers are going to put things on hold just to see what the outcome is going to be. Of course, taxes or even tax cuts. And this could lead to a potential slowdown in transactions, but also a slight dip in property prices. Although a lot of people say it's more going to be on the high end, especially like prime, super prime London, whereby you have overseas buyers. But we'll wait to see. And the other side is going to be housing supply with developers. Of course, investors and developers don't like uncertainty, and right now there's a lot of that and going to continue to be over the course of the next few weeks. So what's coming next for landlords? If the Conservatives win the election, we can expect everything to run pretty much the same with no major changes. However, if Labour comes into power, when we talk about the rental sector at least, with the renters reform, I don't think there's going to be any major changes either. If we look at when this law was trying to get passed, we can see that there wasn't that much opposition from either party. I think one of the biggest changes perhaps is going to be the Section 21, the no fault eviction, being pushed much quicker. Also, there was the notice period from Labour, which wanted to extend from 2 months to 4 months. Again, nothing major there. The big question here is Labour going to introduce rent control? And that's the one that's going to have the most impact, of course, negatively from the landlord's perspective, but positively from the renters. I know if it was up to Sadiq Khan, absolutely 100% they would. But we've seen the negative impact that this had in Scotland when they introduced this. Renters were definitely not better off. In fact, rents went through the roof. So could we learn from that, and will Labour still try to introduce this? My suggestion is you subscribe to our channel to keep up to date.